The latest drownings report from Surf Life Saving Australia found there were 357 drowning deaths in the 12 months from June 2024 to June 2025. It's the highest in a 12-month period since records began. To pick on Victoria, and we have been rather picking on Victoria tonight, in Victoria alone, there have been 20 fatal drownings since July of this year. Now, alarmingly, more than half of those drownings occurred at home, with the average age of the person who drowned being 51 years. So it's not just little kids who are drowning. They appear to be a bit safer because of the prevalence of pool fences and more awareness. So we're into summer, full swing. Life-saving groups say more needs to be done to improve our swimming skills, which they say are at the lowest levels for decades. And here to discuss this and more, Manager of Research and Evaluation from Life-Saving Victoria, Dr Hannah Grayfree. Dr Hannah, good evening. Welcome to the program. These statistics are pretty dire. And I also discovered, by the way, that the age group, the demographic group most likely to die at the beach are males over the age of 65. What is going on?
Yeah, thanks for having me. So, I mean, the drowning statistics are quite confronting, and I think go against what we would normally assume to be, different types of people drowning. And we do see people over the age of 65 to be most at risk of drowning in Victoria and Australia. Often this can be side effects of medication and different health conditions, and also perhaps skills that haven't been practiced in some time, maybe getting in the way of enjoying the water safely. So we've got some really strong messages for people that are in that age bracket, and particularly if you've got parents within that age too, just make sure they recognise any sort of skill limitation they might have or side effects of medication that can cause dizziness. For this age group, we can see slips, trips and falls being a common cause for drowning, and particularly in the home environment too, and backyard pools and even bathtubs can pose a drowning risk for this age group. So there's quite a few different risk factors, and being aware and proactive against that is really important.
Actually, looking at that older age group, do swimming skills ever decline? I mean, as blokes get older and the muscles are not as strong as they once were, can blokes have, because of the Y chromosome, an absurd level of confidence and think they can still do what they did when they were 20? Is that what happens?
Yeah, we can see a change in abilities as people age, but ultimately they can improve, and you can maintain your fitness and your skill regardless of your ability. So our message really is for people that if you're a bit unsure about what your skills are, you can go to your public pools. They're the safest places to swim. They're controlled environments. Lifeguards can keep an eye on you, and you can do some laps, practice your skills before then going to the beach if you want to go to one of those lifeguarded spots.
Let's talk about the children. I've got a couple of grandsons, one's 5, one's 7. They go to swimming lessons every single week. The 7-year-old's already quite a strong swimmer. The 5-year-old's getting there. Does that not apply to all Australian children? We just assume all Aussie kids learn to swim. Is that not the case?
No, unfortunately not. We do have national benchmarks for swimming and water safety from Royal Life Saving Society Australia, and that indicates that every child by age 12 should be able to swim 50 metres, so 2 laps of a standard pool, and should be able to float or tread water for 2 minutes. And some recent research has shown that about 50% of children can't meet these expectations. So this is quite a concern, and something that we're really trying to push parents and caregivers for, to enrol their children in swimming and water safety lessons, and to keep them enrolled. We know that many children are actually pulled out of those lessons. They may have conflicting sporting commitments. The cost might get too much. The access to those lessons can also be a limiting factor as well. But if any of those reasons are in play, like you can take, again, your kids to the public pool, just get them familiar with being in and around the water, how their body moves and feels in the water can be really preventative, and it can actually deter them from going in the water if they know they don't have the skills to deal with it.
Is there an issue with migrants who come here and who just don't understand how the system works? They don't understand swim between the flags, don't recognise what the red and white flags mean on the beach. Is that possible?
Yeah, so we do know that drowning is a real concern for people from multicultural backgrounds and for people born overseas. Drownings among overseas, a third of drownings in Australia are among people who are born overseas. And we're really encouraging any type of education or water safety lessons that they can take part in to try and upskill. But we know that there are many barriers in place, for example, access and cost to these types of lessons. We've got some colleagues at Monash University that are doing some fabulous work with English language requirements for visas and putting border safety messaging into that, which has really shown some positive results. But ultimately as well, we know that many people that drown in Australia were also born in Australia. In Victoria, for example, almost half of drownings occurred involve people drowning within their own residential postcode. So it was locals drowning in local waterways. And so what we're really advocating for is for people to not be complacent around any type of water, even if it's your backyard, if it's a river that you go to a lot, or the local beach. You can't relax your vigilance. So just be really mindful and keep it front of mind.
I read a news story recently about, I think it was a young bloke who died. He was swimming at night at the beach. And when I look at someone thinking about swimming at night, I just think, you can't see any rips, you've got no idea what's going on. That's nuts. Do people really do things like that?
Yeah, and unfortunately they do. And we do see some tragic stories from people doing that risk-taking behaviour, combining alcohol and their swimming, which we really advocate against. They're not wearing life jackets when they go boating or fishing, and they're swimming at night by themselves at locations that lifeguards are not. So what we're really encouraging Australians, particularly during the summertime where we're going to the water to cool off, is if you are going, make sure that you're going with somebody else. You tell someone when you're coming back. You go to those patrolled locations where lifeguards can keep an eye on you. There's a great website called the Beach Safe app or Beach Safe website, and that will tell you about where all of the patrolled lifeguard locations are along Australia's coastline. So you can make sure that you can go to the closest one to you and enjoy the beach safely this summer.
Dr. Hannah Grafey, thank you very much for your time. And she talked about a Beach Safe website and a Beach Safe app. Sounds like a very good idea. So just to have a look at it would be a good start, wouldn't it?